Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Just-in-Time Education, podcast for healthcare HR from Healthcare Source and Lean Human Capital. I'm Rebecca McNeil, Educational Content Manager for Healthcare Source, and I have David Zari, founder of Lean Human Capital and the Recruiter Academy with me today. Hi David.
Hello Rebecca.
We're also honored to have a guest, Jennifer Matucci, Manager of Talent Acquisition at Beaumont Health System. Hi, Jennifer.
Hi, Rebecca.
First of all, congrats on being named to Lean Human Capital's Elite Honor Roll for 2012. Beaumont was actually one of only 6 health systems out of 88 selected, so that's a pretty exclusive club. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And I'm sure that many of our listeners would love to hear how your HR team was able to perform at an elite level with respect to productivity, responsiveness, and process efficiency. So I was hoping that you might share some of your wisdom with us. Let's jump into our questions. The first thing is, with respect to process efficiency, which is one of the key metrics to measure. One of those key metrics is number of candidates routed to the hiring manager to fill one position. And you guys scored within the top 75th percentile in this area. What's the key to being efficient with your hiring managers and reducing the number of unqualified applicants moving through the staffing process?
Well, I think there are a few things. One of the things that we do very well at Beaumont is just pretty basic, utilizing the features of our applicant tracking system. We have knockout questions, pre-qualification questions, and the ability to rank candidates. So that's helped us to reduce a lot of unqualified applicants on the front end. And also just, continuously training the recruiters, the managers, on the system, how to utilize the system. Our recruiters, we rely on them to be the experts and help them train the managers that they should not be spending their time with unqualified applicants. A lot of our managers, want to see every single applicant. So we work with them to help them understand, and the recruiters understand that the more time we spend on the front end, the less time we're going to spend throughout the hiring process.
Absolutely. Communication with hiring managers and training for hiring managers is so important. And Beaumont was also ranked within the top 7th percentile in overall time to fill, or as we recruiters like to say, TTF. And TTF for positions open over 60 days. How are you able to accomplish this, Jennifer, in a labor market that's getting increasingly competitive?
Well, we're very fortunate that Beaumont has always had a great reputation, and we still have a great reputation. We're known nationally as a leader in healthcare. Our goal is to always be identifying new ways to increase and maintain our candidate pool. So we try to utilize all of our sources at all times. We've expanded our social media. We have a Facebook careers page. We have Twitter. We do the LinkedIn. So training the recruiters on those sources. And our employee referral program is very strong. Our hires are about 25% come from employee referrals. So we do special contests and bring a lot of visibility to this program that we have at Beaumont. And then the other side of it is just making sure our process is efficient throughout the entire interview process. A lot of times it's just simple doing back-to-back interviews with the managers and making sure that our managers are making efficient hiring decisions, not sitting on candidates, making sure we're responding, communicating with the candidates right away. And another thing we do is really manage with metrics. We look at key reports and send those out to the recruiters so that they're continuously looking at anything over 60 days, 90 days, and just, helping them to see what we can do to help identify candidates for those positions.
Great. Those are all such important points. And speaking of process efficiency, David, over the past 3 years with your healthcare recruitment metrics benchmark study, you've been able to analyze data, systems, and process with over 130 healthcare systems. So Do you have any advice that you can share with healthcare organizations to be more efficient and reduce TTF?
Well, I think Jennifer is really hitting on some key things, and it's interesting because you know, innovation awfully is just simply brilliant, and it's simple is the key. And you know, this idea that Jennifer just mentioned, we talk about, you know, how to reduce time to fill. You know, interviews back to back, we call them batch interview process. So with the manager, you know, a simple thing like if Jennifer's my hiring manager saying, hey Jennifer, great, now I understand the position. How about 2 weeks? Why don't we schedule an afternoon, and why don't I set up the first 3 candidates that I think are best suited for the position? Why don't I set them up for an interview interview session back to back to back? And to do that, though, it goes to a point I think Jennifer's done an excellent job with her team, is her team members are business partners, and they have credibility with the manager to do that. So when the manager asks to see all the resumes, they can quickly diffuse that and say, why don't we do it this way? And that credibility is key to the success to doing that. So batch interviews is a way to reduce time to fill. And, you know, with respect to reducing unqualified applicants, it also is credibility. If a manager understands or believes that you are a credible source, then they're going to allow you to say, great, why don't we just run with the first 3 candidates you, the recruiter, think are most suited. So those are a couple, again, very simple, practical things that you can do, but the results are priceless, and Beaumont's a great example of folks that have done this, and the results speak for themselves.
Great advice. Jennifer, here's my last question for you. What advice would you give to other talent acquisition leaders on how to improve productivity, efficiency, and responsiveness within their staffing process?
Well, I think the most important thing is to continuously look for ways to improve, and that's making sure we're getting the most value out of our applicant tracking, communicating with the recruiters so that everyone is on the same page. We're utilizing everything we can, getting the most out of the applicant tracking to make sure that we have an efficient process. But also, as David just mentioned, working as business partners with our managers, just continuously communicating with them and, you know, asking the recruiters for feedback. And we hold quarterly forums just to get the recruiters together and share best practices, and that's helped us. The last thing is just to help the hiring managers understand what a huge investment every hire is. You know, we train them on this, but making sure that they know it's an investment. You know, we spend significant resources on every single hire, and we need to help managers understand this, that, you know, it is a huge investment for the future.
Definitely, that's hugely important. And David, just as we wrap up, do you have any final thoughts for our audience?
I think 2 things, and Jennifer hit on them. One, manage by metrics. I mean, you have to understand how you perform. You can't manage what you don't measure. And then the second one, again, Jennifer just shared, which was continuous improvement. It's a journey. It's not a one-time event. And having, you know, had the privilege to work, you know, and understand their metrics with Jennifer, I mean, they're always innovating and doing things and thinking about ways to improve. She mentioned something, quarterly meetings with their managers. You know, being involved and having those meetings are huge. So manage by metrics, having quarterly meetings, continuous improvement's a journey, not a one-time event. Do those things, and you're going to be in good shape, better than others.
You know, David, I tricked you because that brought into my mind one more question. You mentioned the word innovation. Do you think being innovative is what separates and makes these organizations elite recruitment organizations?
In some respects, I do, and again, I think the best innovation is awfully very simple. You look to Apple, you know, they try to make it very simple for you, and you see the results with their phone. So yes, I think innovation goes with continuous improvement, and when you can simplify it and people can understand why you're doing what you do, it truly goes hand in hand with the success. And again, Beaumont has been very successful compared to the other health systems that we've had participate in the study.
Wonderful. Well, thank you everyone for joining us, and congratulations again to Beaumont for being an elite recruitment organization. Stay tuned for another episode of Just in Time Education.